fretboard is slotted already. You saw that cut. That was already done. I went through a few tests to make sure I get this right. And we're going to cut out the inlay pockets first for the fret markers. And I ran through a bunch of tests. Hopefully things end up centered enough to be acceptable. And we've generated our G-code. We've lined everything up. The machine is ready, almost ready to cut. Got to put the speed back up where it goes. It's going to be noisy and a bit dusty because I'm not going to put the dust shoe on. I want to watch this thing happen. So we're going to start cutting some fret marker inlay pockets. Here we go. Well, that was uneventful, which is good. I want uneventful. Uneventful means nothing tore out or I had no major massive failures, so that's good. We're going to load up the G-code for the outline now to give me a cutting guide. Let's close this, load the cutout, and we'll do one more nice little outline cut. Okay, so that's the cutout. That was pretty uneventful as well, which is grand. I am pleased. So we're gonna get the gantry up out of the way here. This looks good. I left it thicker so that I can bandsaw this off completely. Because I figure I'm gonna use this backing board as my straight edge for making sure the thing stays flat while I radius it. So what I'll do, I'm going to leave this in here as it is right now on the board, but we can take it out of the CNC now, and we're safe to play around with this. There's a little bit of fuzz here, so I'm going to take a little bit of a cleanup with sandpaper real fast, and then we'll look at squaring up all those corners and stuff. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take, this is like a 3/16 chisel I just sharpened. I'm just going to take very slow, deliberate, careful moves here to just clean up these corners. Doesn't take much. Might not even need the mallet for this. There we go. Got ourselves a little bit more light to work by here. Okay, I think I've got fairly decent. It's not the greatest of focus, as from I can tell, but so kind of basically you take the back side of the chisel and you sort of, let's see, which edge is the best one to show you? Is it going to be there? So what I'm doing is I set it on this sort of straight edge right here, right? This edge along this way is pretty straight. It's very hard for you guys to see that, but pretty straight. But this corner is round, so what you do is you kind of register the chisel so that the back of the chisel, the back side of the chisel is flat up against that wall back there, and you just sort of lean it into the curved bit, and you're kind of starting your straight corner. You do the same on the opposite corner. And just keep it, just extend it enough to get it to go into that corner. Then you can kind of use it as your registration face, and then once you've got that, you just lop that corner off nicely. And if anything, in this case, for an inlay, undercutting is maybe not so much on this one, because I'm going to be radiusing and we don't want it to reveal. So in this case, it's especially important that everything be very plumb and line up nicely. There we go. And there's one corner. It takes longer to describe it than it does to do it, so I'm just going to keep doing a bunch of these. Hopefully you'll be able to see my hands doing what they need to do to achieve what I'm after. So I just come at it with the chisel registration. So this is where moving the light around helps. Put the light on this side now. Oh, that's much better for you guys too, isn't it? Okay, now I can see on this side my back face of the chisel is where it belongs, and try not to cast myself too many shadows into my own way. The trick here, and the nice thing actually in this case, is that since the board's going to get radiused after the inlays are in, if I overcut on the surface or I muck up the surface on these outer edges a little bit, it's not going to be a disaster because they'll probably get sanded away when we radius the fretboard. So we'll just keep on. I think I really want two lights. I'm going to come back again here. Hold on a sec. That's good. We're going to set forth towards shaping the pieces that go in there now. Okay, so we have our inlay material. This is pretty close to what Gibson actually used. It's perloid, but it's plastic. And I've had some advice to go with shell because I'm going through the trouble of building this, and normally for any other guitar I would. This I'm shooting to try to replicate somewhat closely to the period correctness of what was used in Eric's 64 335. So I'm going with perloid-ish or perloid type stuff. This is pretty close to what he had in his. So what I've got this, and I'll just sort of, set it up against some area, an edge. These all have sort of pinchy looking edges, so I'm going to probably cut it a little oversized. We'll cut out a piece a little bit oversized, and then using my 1-2-3 block on my granite slab with some adhesive backed 100 grit sandpaper, we'll dial it in perfectly, slowly, gradually, and patiently as I get close. So we're basically just going to kind of hold up a piece, figure out where to cut, and we'll just gradually cut pieces out as we go. That'll be next. Alright, I think I have a solution that's going to work here. So I've got my little blank cut out, my little piece cut out, and over here I've got this square block. It's a machinist tool actually. It's just a square block with a bit of sticky sandpaper stuck to the top section of it. Over here I've clamped my 1-2-3 block in the vise, and I just hold this up. The sandpaper stops at the top of that 1, 2, 3 block, and I'm going to hold the piece of material up on the 1, 2, 3 block and just slide my square block against the material. And this lets me sort of, well, maybe it does, tries to let me fine-tune this. I think I need a fence or something on this, a stop of some kind. So I'm going to work that out next. Alright, okay, I think I have something. Not sure if it's solid just yet, but I think I have an idea. So I've got two 1, 2, 3 blocks here. One's just higher, slightly higher than the other. And this will actually help me do a square edge as well. And then I've got my little block here. I'm gonna put some masking tape on this to space it out from the paper, so I don't grind away the surface of my 1, 2, 3 blocks and wreck it. Okay, so now I think we've got an idea here. So we've got one straight edge. We're gonna make this corner square. So I just hold it in place, run my block back and forth here, and that'll get me a nice square corner. And that does seem to bear fruit. That's good. Then we can take that square corner, well, actually we can take that same edge, we'll flip it over, and we'll do a square piece to cut it to width. And this stuff cuts pretty quick too. It doesn't take too much. Yeah, this is going to work beautifully. I like what I've got here. So I'll just keep gently tugging away at this. We're about ready to glue all the little inlay bits into the fretboard, and I've mixed up a batch of this stuff, diced up, chopped up fine into a fairly homogeneous powder with acetone, because it's perlloid, so it's basically celluloid dissolved in acetone, and it's going to be my glue. And I did a test here just to be certain that it's going to work, and it's holding it. I can't get that off of there. So we're going to use that to glue these in, but because I'm paranoid, yeah, that's going to hold just fine. So because I'm paranoid, I'm going to tape off all of the fret slots before I do that, so I don't risk any of the stuff getting into my fret slots. All right, so we're ready for clamping now. I've got a C-clamp for each fret marker. I've got a little tiny block of 1/8" stuff for a call to push down only on the thing, on the marker. So I think we're ready to just, I'm going to get a little closer here. I've got my gloves, nitrile gloves, a little bit of paper towel just in case. All of my pieces are right there ready to go. I think I'm going to want a little mallet before I get really going. And because just in case something's not perfectly fitting, it needs to get driven in a bit better. Got it held in with holdfasts, easy clamping, so we'll just bring a clamp in over the top of this for each one and tighten it down. So I'm going to give you some easy listening while I stress myself out here. All right, 9 clamps, 9 inlays. I think this glue will glue this, I suppose you could call it glue. This perloid dissolved in acetone is kind of interesting. It looks like snot, really, but glittery snot. Anyway, we're glued up. I'm gonna let that dry overnight. We'll check it out tomorrow. Well, it's the next day. And if I seem grumpy, it's because I am. I learned 2 lessons. 1, it's a good thing I didn't have the camera rolling when I pulled the clamps off of this thing. And 2, don't experiment on your keeping wood, on your good board, on the project piece. Okay, so here's the thing. Yesterday, you saw, I tried this bird dissolve some of the perloid in acetone and use it as the glue. Great in concept, garbage in practice. I pulled the tape off and I tried to clean it up, but the more I looked at it, the more I played around with it, the less I was happy with it. So there's a couple of problems. One, you can't see this, but the texture is all mottled. So hey, you used acetone for your glue. Guess what happens when you use acetone on something that dissolves in acetone? It fucking dissolves it. That's what happens. Shocker, right? Well, it dissolved all this, so under the clamping pressure, everything bowed and mushed, and it turned into putty, basically. So everything was way deeper than it should have been, and was oozing out of the sides in some places. In other places, while it dried, it shrunk and left gaps. So I have literally a day's worth of fuss and fitting because I got excited and to try something different on my keeper boards, and that was a mistake. I should not have done that. I knew better too. So most of this is me kicking myself. That was freaking stupid. So now the challenge is I need to get those out of there and save my $100 piece of rosewood. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. I'm hopefully sure, I'm mostly sure I can do it. I think I can get it out. Worst case, if I have to soak the damn thing in acetone and fish it all out with a dental pick, I'll do it. This has to come out. This is unacceptable. Not for this guitar. So I'm angry because, one, I was going to use regular glue and I didn't listen to my gut yesterday. And I didn't experiment, and I let myself get talked. I let myself try something I should have experimented with first. And so I'm going to put on my skirt, hike up my panties, and get them out of a wad. You're going to learn how I learn. You are going to learn how I'm going to learn how to get this fixed, because that's too good of a piece of rosewood to abandon, but it is going to be a real royal shit challenge. But we're going to do it. It's going to get out of there. I'm going to get this freed. So bear with me a little bit. I'm going to move around the camera so you can kind of get a better view of the F I am dealing with, and the F I dealt myself and am dealing with. Okay. Got to get over it. Got to move past it or I'm never going to finish. So we're going to solve this, and I'm going to try to keep you guys along while I do it. And now I know how to do it, and I've learned a way not to do it. So again, in the face of an abject failure, the best thing that came out of this is I learned a way not to do it. And yeah, I'm kind of ticked off right now, but I'm going to get over it. I'm going to get past it, and I'm going to fix this. All right, well, that'll be your bird's eye view of the repair. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to throw this bird shit away. If I get the urge to try that again, I'll I'll smack myself in the thumbs with a hammer. No, I'm sure it can be made to work. Just not on a $100 piece of rosewood with a gorilla clamp down onto it. And so, yeah, well, let's get over it, right? I said I would, and I haven't yet, have I? Okay, so what I'm going to try to do first is I'm going to try to chisel on this just a little bit, just to see how controllable I can do that, and if that's going to work without risk. If it's going to be risky, I'll stop that right away, and then I might come back after it. I may come at it with my Bosch Colt router, or maybe a Dremel, something I can just freehand inside the lines of this and take out the majority of it, and then get a chisel in there to clean out the corners maybe. I'm going to keep the tape on now for the moment till I feel safe to remove it. I'm going to pick up some of my trash here real quick, and then I'll bring you back. Alright, we're going to start small here first. See if I can't dig into this thing. Yeah, this might work out alright. The idea is to hopefully not hit the wood and deepen this pocket too far, because it's already a bit deeper than I wanted it. And when I get up near this end grain area, or this edge, I want to be careful that I don't go crazy. I wonder if I can pair this. No, I feel like pairing is risky. Yeah, pairing is definitely risky. I just took a chunk, minor, but yeah, definitely don't want to pair. I want to change those real quick. Yeah, I don't feel safe trying to oh, that's a nice one. That popped out easy. Okay, so if I can get under it, I can probably pry it out. So this is proving that the glue was kind of shit to begin with. No shock to me now. If I can get under it and lever it up, be careful though. I don't want to kill any of the end grain there. And we'll see if I can. It looks like if I can dig it in, I can peel most of it out. If I can pry on it a little bit. It looks like, for the most part, it doesn't take any of the wood with it either. That means that glue was shit anyway. That glue idea was bad. Okay. This is proving hopeful. So in the end, removal was not so bad. That's good. That's really good. That was one of my main concerns as a risk. All right. Okay, so the next step after this is, doesn't look like there's a lot of cleanup, thankfully. Just a tiny little bit there and here and there. Well, all right, so digging them out was easier than I thought it was going to be, which is great. All this means is I have to do more cutting. I have to cut some more of these again, which means break out the scroll saw again and do some more of this fitting stuff. So we're going to start getting set up for that.